When it comes to horror films that leave a permanent mark on both the genre and the audience, there are few as iconic and as unapologetically raw as Sam Raimi's 1981 cult masterpiece, The Evil Dead. A movie made on a shoestring budget, filmed in an actual rundown cabin in the woods, and drenched in gallons of fake blood. The Evil Dead is the perfect storm of intense horror, over the top gore, and yes, plenty of deliciously cheesy moments that make it impossible not to laugh. Today we are diving deep into the good stuff, the goofy stuff, and why this little indie horror flick became a legend. Hey, hope you're doing great. Welcome back to the Horror and Beyond show. Our story begins with the most classic horror setup imaginable. 5 college friends rent a secluded cabin in the woods for a weekend getaway. We've got Ash Williams, played by Bruce Campbell, the king of facial expressions and soon to be horror legend. Linda, Ash's sweet girlfriend. Cheryl, Ash's sister and the first to sense trouble. Scott, the overly confident I got this guy. And Shelley, Scott's girlfriend. There to enjoy some quiet time until, well, you know. Right from the start, the atmosphere is off. The bridge they cross to get to the cabin looks like it's one loose board away from collapsing into the abyss. The trees sway ominously. The camera glides low through the woods. That now famous evil presence POV shot. And we get the sense that something out there is watching them. Once inside the cabin, the group finds a creepy basement. Because of course they do. And inside they discover 2 things. 1, a strange book with a gruesome cover, human flesh and stitched seams. 2, a reel-to-reel tape recorder. This book is the infamous Necronomicon Ex Mortis, the Book of the Dead. And here's where the first major don't do that moment happens. Instead of closing the book and running far, far away, they play the tape. Cheryl is the first to feel it, the presence in the woods. This leads to one of the most infamous, disturbing scenes in horror history, the tree attack sequence. Even today, it's uncomfortable to watch. Shaken and terrified, Cheryl begs the group to leave, but Scott dismisses it. And here's where The Evil Dead shows its perfect blend of tension and cheesiness. Terrifying? Absolutely. Unbelievably reckless decision making? 100%. The evil force wastes no time. One by one, the friends fall under its grip, their bodies twisting into grotesque deadites. Cheryl is the first to turn. After the horrifying attack in the woods, she returns shaken. But during the card-guessing scene, her voice drops. Her eyes glaze white, and she drives a pencil into Linda's ankle. A shocking jolt that announces the nightmare has begun. The group locks Cheryl in the cellar, where she becomes one of the film's most chilling images, taunting through the half-open trapdoor, cackling like something inhumane. Later, Shelley succumbs next. Her transformation is chaotic and vicious, an over-the-top showcase of the movie's low-budget yet wildly inventive makeup and effects as she attacks and has to be violently put down. Let's talk gore. This movie is relentless. Limbs are hacked off. Flesh is stabbed, sliced, and chewed. Blood in every possible color shade from red to almost black, sprays, drips, and pours like there is no tomorrow. Given the film's microscopic budget, the practical effects are astonishing. You can spot the limitations: claymation, stop motion, fake heads. But that's part of its charm. While The Evil Dead is very much an ensemble horror at the start, this is the movie that plants the seeds of Ash Williams as a cult hero. At first, Ash isn't the chainsaw-wielding one-liner machine we'd see in the sequels. He's just trying to survive, watching in horror as his friends and loved ones turn into monsters. But slowly, he becomes the last man standing, not because he's the most skilled, but because he refuses to give up. One thing The Evil Dead nails is its atmosphere. The sound design is intentionally unsettling. Whispering voices in the woods, doors creaking in the dark, that ominous droning tone when the evil presence moves. Combine that with Raimi's creative camera work, swooping low shots, strange angles, frantic zooms, and the cabin feels alive as much as a villain as the Deadites themselves. Now let's get into the fun part, the cheese factor. Some of the acting is wonderfully overdone. Characters react to absolute horrors with expressions that feel a little too theatrical. There are moments where the dialogue sounds like it was written in one sitting on a diner napkin, and yet it all works. The makeup effects, while groundbreaking for their budget, can be gloriously fake. Rubbery limbs, chunky prosthetics, stop-motion melting faces that look half like horror and half like a clay art project. And of course, the biggest cheese of all, the sheer bravery or outright stupidity of these characters. After witnessing multiple possessions, hearing demonic voices, and seeing their friends' bodies get mangled, what do? They keep exploring. They keep opening doors. They keep saying, let's check it out. Now, let's focus on the ending. Ash, blood-soaked and barely alive, survives the night. Or so he thinks. Just as daylight breaks and he steps outside, the camera, that unstoppable demonic force, rushes at him. We never see exactly what happens next, but the message is clear. This evil isn't going anywhere. So, why is The Evil Dead still beloved? Because it's unpolished but passionate. It's terrifying, yet weirdly fun. It knows it's low budget and uses that to its advantage. It's a film that doesn't just entertain, it inspires. Many filmmakers have cited it as proof that with enough creativity and determination, you can make something unforgettable. Now, here's where I get personal. I absolutely love this movie. Not in spite of its cheesiness, but because of it. The horror vibes are thick, the atmosphere is unforgettable, and the characters, well, they are either the bravest or dumbest group of friends in horror history. No matter how many terrifying things happen, they keep investigating until it's too late. I still remember the first time I saw The Evil Dead. Ready for that? Don't judge me. I was just 7 years old. My parents had no idea I was watching it. Don't judge them either. In fact, if they had found out that I watched that movie without their permission, I would have been grounded at least for a week. Anyways, I was both terrified and completely hooked. I couldn't look away. It was like the horror equivalent of a roller coaster. You are scared out of your mind, but you don't want it to end. This movie is messy. It's over the top. It's weird. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Because The Evil Dead isn't just a horror movie, it's a piece of horror history. And for me, it's one I'll never forget. So, what have we learned from The Evil Dead? Number 1. If you find a creepy book bound in human flesh, don't read it out loud. Number 2. If your friends start chanting in ancient Sumerian, maybe leave. And number 3. If you ignore rules 1 and 2, well, get ready to spend the night fighting off Deadites with whatever sharp object you can find in the kitchen. If you enjoyed this trip back to the cabin, give this video a like, smash that subscribe button like it's a possessed hand, and ring the bell so you don't miss my next dive into horror's weirdest corners. Because here, we don't just watch horror, we open the Necronomicon, press play on the tape, and hope for the best. Until next time, shop smart, shop as smart, and maybe skip the cabin rentals.